नमस्ते। आज हम फैम हेल्थ पर एक बहुत अलग सा और बहुत यूनिक सा बातचीत करने वाले हैं। और ये वैसे तो हमारे स्वास्थ्य के लिए बहुत जरूरी है, लेकिन इसके बारे में हम काफी कम जानते हैं। इसको बोलते हैं स्पिरिचुअलिज्म इन ह्यूमन हेल्थ। ये विषय इतना डीप नहीं है जितना हम समझते हैं, लेकिन इसके बारे में जितना हम जानते हैं वो शायद हम लोगों के लिए काफी नहीं है। इसी विषय पर बातचीत करने के लिए आज हमारे साथ हैं ऑथर पूजा खन्ना, जिन्होंने अपना हाई प्रोफाइल कॉर्पोरेट करियर पीछे छोड़कर अपनी पर्सनल लर्निंग से एक किताब लिखी है जिसका नाम है द आर्ट ऑफ बिकमिंग होल। वेलकम टू द शो पूजा।
Thank you so much. So lovely to be here.
We are glad to have you, and I think in this spiritual journey, you would be one of the first few people that we are interviewing. And मेरा सबसे पहला सवाल, जैसे I think commonly आपको पूछा जाता होगा काफी इंटरव्यूज में, कि कॉर्पोरेट करियर से इतना डिस्टिंक्ट आपका मूव हुआ स्पिरिचुअल लर्निंग के बेसिस पे, वेलनेस पे आपने जो किताब लिखी है स्पिरिचुअलिज्म पे, तो ये जर्नी आपकी कैसे हुई और कितनी सिग्निफिकेंट थी उस समय पर जब आपने ये मूव करी?
मैं 13 साल for 13 years मैं कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में थी। तो मैंने अमेरिकन एक्सप्रेस, IBM, पेप्सी, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट में काम किया 13 साल तक। और उसके बाद मैं काफी बीमार पड़ गई। I got a condition called adrenal fatigue, which is caused because of stress and anxiety and an underlying depression जो accumulate होता है over many years. And I felt sick. मैं 1 साल में 8 बार hospitalized हुई, मैं faint होती रही. And then I had to quit the corporate world, take a break. और जब मैंने break लिया, I realized that I think my purpose for life is something else. And I healed with holistic wellness. So then I moved towards building a company on the holistic wellness side. जो मैंने 4 साल न्यूयॉर्क में एक होलिस्टिक वेलनेस कंपनी चलाई, उसको इसी साल आई जस्ट मेड एन एग्जिट ऑन इट, एंड देन आई स्पेंड सम टाइम राइटिंग दिस बुक ऑन जनरल पर्सनल एंड स्पिरिचुअल ग्रोथ लेसन्स. सो एट द टाइम आई क्विट द कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड, मैंने नहीं रियलाइज किया इमीडिएटली, जब क्विट किया सिर्फ अपने हेल्थ को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए किया. तब मैंने शायद रियलाइज नहीं किया कि मेरी स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी इतनी डीप होने वाली है और इतनी ज्यादा इवॉल्व होके प्रोग्रेस होगी. उस समय आई टुक इमीडिएट डिसीजन जस्ट टू प्रोटेक्ट माई सेल्फ. लेकिन वो शुरुआत थी मेरे स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी की. एंड आई एम सो ग्रेटफुल, क्योंकि अगर मैं बीमार नहीं होती और अगर हॉस्पिटल नहीं जाती तो मैं हील नहीं होती और मैं इस पाथ पे शुरू नहीं होती जो मैंने 2013 में स्टार्ट किया. और अभी भी मैं उस पाथ की बस एक स्टूडेंट ही हूँ.
आगे जाने से पहले आपकी किताब के बारे में और जानकारी करेंगे, बट कमिंग बैक, आपकी जो हेल्थ कंडीशन थी, आपने बोला एड्रीनल फटीग और ऐसे बड़े बड़े आपने वर्ड्स यूज किए. फॉर आवर व्यूअर्स, बिकॉज वी आर अ हेल्थ प्लेटफॉर्म, हमारे काफी दर्शक ऐसे हैं जो कोई ना कोई बीमारी से जूझते रहते हैं. एड्रीनल फटीग एग्जैक्टली आपको क्या समझ आया? व्हाट वर द डॉक्टर सेइंग एंड व्हाट वाज द मैनिफेस्टेशन लाइक? सिम्टम्स कैसे थे आपके?
So उसके symptoms बहुत यूनिक होते हैं, which is hard to explain to someone else. You feel a dizziness और a tinginess जो आपके सर में constantly घूमता है, और उसके कारण आप किसी के साथ फोकस नहीं कर पाते हैं. सडनली बात करते करते सडनली डिप हो जाते हैं सडनली, लेकिन उसको एग्जैक्टली डिजीजेस नहीं बोल सकते हैं. एंड बहुत स्टैमिना लॉस हो जाता है, वीक लगता है, डिप्लीटेड लगता है, and उसके कारण, डिप्लीशन के कारण फिर डिप्रेशन भी आता है. But that's because अगर आपकी हेल्थ ठीक नहीं है, then you're going to feel sad and depressed. तो symptoms वही थे. And adrenal fatigue, common Western world way, is known more as chronic fatigue. So chronic fatigue is a word which in the Western medicine field is more commonly known to everybody, and in the holistic wellness world, it's more known as adrenal fatigue. So जैसे हमारे adrenal glands होते हैं, कहता है कि I got an adrenaline rush, मैं स्काई डाइविंग किया, I got an adrenaline rush. That means your adrenal glands are producing a certain amount of energy and are functioning at their levels. That's why you have that energy rush. अगर आपके adrenal glands काम करना बंद कर देते हैं तो उसको कहते हैं adrenal fatigue, क्योंकि adrenal glands ठीक से काम नहीं कर रहे हैं. And that slows your metabolism, your energy, stamina, and उसके manifestations physical, mental और spiritual तीनों level पे होते हैं.
तो पूजा, जब आपने अपने सारे टेस्ट करवाए होंगे, जैसे आप थोड़ी देर पहले हमसे शेयर करी थी कि उसमें कुछ नहीं दिखाई दिया, तो आप खुद शुरू में कितना कन्विंस थी ऑल्टरनेट थेरेपी या स्पिरिचुअल जर्नी पे जाने के लिए?
मैं एक्चुअली इतनी बीमार थी कि मैं अपने आप के लिए सोच भी नहीं पा रही थी कि मैं क्या करूं, लेकिन मेरे फादर फार्मास्यूटिकल इंडस्ट्री के एक बहुत ही वेल नोन पर्सन है इंडिया में. ही हैज बीन द सीईओ ऑफ फार्मास्यूटिकल कंपनीज फॉर 40 years. And so I have grown up around Western medicine. I have grown up around talking to normal doctors, taking a pill. लेकिन मुझे हमेशा से पिल के साइड इफेक्ट्स काफी ज्यादा होते थे, तो pills never suited me. So unless I didn't need to take it, I didn't really take it, but that was my only option. तो मैंने पहले 1 साल तक वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन को ट्राई किया. मैं 8 बार हॉस्पिटलाइज हुई हूँ. मैं टॉप न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट, कार्डियोलॉजिस्ट, यू नो ऑल काइंड्स ऑफ डॉक्टर्स के पास गई थी, और उनको एक भी चीज, एक भी फॉल्ट मेरे मेडिकल रिपोर्ट्स में नहीं मिली. Every single test under the sun they did and nothing was found. And that's when finally a friend of mine who's very big in holistic wellness, she moved me and said, why don't you try acupuncture? Why don't you try this holistic doctor? Why don't you try this hypnotherapist? And that's how, with the help of acupuncture, hypnotherapy and Reiki, I got back on my feet. और 6 से 8 महीने में, once I moved towards holistic medicine, I recovered completely and I got my entire stamina and energy and everything back.
पूजा, अब हमारे दर्शकों को अपने किताब के बारे में बताइए कि उसमें आपने क्या-क्या चीजें हाईलाइट करी हैं, आपके खुद के प्रोफेशनल एंड पर्सनल एक्सपीरियंसेस से क्या चीजें हैं जो उभर के आती हैं?
So this book, I'll just show it to you. This is the book. It's The Art of Becoming Whole. And this book is a collection of my personal and spiritual growth lessons जो मैंने पिछले 5-6 साल में सीखे. So I've been taking spiritual coaching lessons from a lot of masters, and I have put together those lessons which are common to everybody इस book में. So हर एक lesson इस book में 17 chapters है, और हर एक lesson एक चैप्टर है, और वो मैंने खुद अंडरगो किया है, and I have to transform or change or to learn that lesson. And so I have been deeply impacted by spiritual wellness. So acupuncture, hypnotherapy, Reiki got me back on my feet, but to stay at that level and not let anxiety, stress and depression hit me back, I needed regular spiritual coaching lessons. So once a month I take spiritual coaching from my coach, and जो भी lessons मैंने imbibe किए हैं उनसे, वो मैंने इस book में लिखे हैं. So it's a book is a lot about how change begins from inside, how आपके subconscious mind में जो emotions हैं, वो emotions आपके life में बहुत conflict, बहुत drama, बहुत anxiety, बहुत anger issues, बहुत victim consciousness create करते हैं. How can you look at your own underlying emotions? आपके क्या actual subconscious thoughts or emotions है underneath those patterns, underneath those triggers, underneath the anger, and how you can change those thoughts and those thinkings to heal yourself. You cannot change, आपके अगल बगल के लोगों को आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते हैं, आपके स्थिति को नहीं चेंज कर सकते हैं, परिस्थिति को, बट अगर आप अपने इंटरनल स्थिति को चेंज कर सकते हैं, अपने सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को चेंज कर सकते हैं, तो आपकी बाहर की दुनिया ऑटोमेटिकली चेंज हो जाती है. ये दिस इज द लॉ ऑफ द यूनिवर्स. और आप जो अपने बारे में सोचते हैं या दूसरे के बारे में सोचते हैं, दैट्स एक्चुअली a projection of your own thoughts and feelings that you see on everyone. Everybody around you is your own mirror. So the book acts like your mirror. It acts like your therapist who's showing you things about yourself which you never realized, and is helping bring about काफी deep inner transformation.
तो ये जो आप कह रही थी अभी कि अपने अंदर के सबकॉन्शियस को बदलना, बिकॉज एक्सटर्नल एनवायरनमेंट को आप ज्यादा कंट्रोल नहीं कर सकते. हाउ इजी और डिफिकल्ट इज दिस?
वेरी डिफिकल्ट. दूसरे को बता पाना कि तुम में ये प्रॉब्लम है, तुम में ये गलती है, बहुत आसान है. अपने आप की हम 1-2 वीकनेसेस तो एक्सेप्ट कर लेते हैं. हाँ ठीक है, मुझे पता है मुझ में ये एक वीकनेस है या ये 2 है. उसके बियॉन्ड जो 20-25 और है वो हम देख ही नहीं पाते हैं, वो हम दूसरों में देखते हैं. और जो आपको दूसरे में दिखता है वो एक्चुअली आपकी क्वालिटी होती है. अगर आपको लगता है कोई और बहुत ज्यादा कंजूस है, क्योंकि आप बहुत ज्यादा कंजूस है, अगर आपको लगता है वो कितना बुरे से बात करता है, इट्स बिकॉज आप बुरे से बात करते हैं. सो ये रिकॉग्नाइज कर पाना आसान नहीं है, लेकिन एक बार आपने ये बात समझ ली and you become mindful of it, then it's a very smooth road from that point. इसका मतलब ये नहीं होगा कि आप गलतियां नहीं करेंगे, कि ये बुक पढ़ के आप सडनली गलतियां नहीं करेंगे, लेकिन यू विल बिकम मोर सेल्फ अवेयर, यू विल बिकम मोर माइंडफुल, एंड इवन व्हेन यू मेक अ मिस्टेक यू विल नॉट फियर फ्रॉम apologizing or forgiving others or forgiving yourself.
So it might just sound a very silly question because I'm just trying to understand. अगर आप कह रहे हैं कि जब वो एक ट्रिगर हो जाता है और आप समझने लग जाते हैं ये सब चीजों के बारे में, तो उस समय पे आप ज्यादा माइंडफुली हर एक परिस्थिति को या हर एक इंसान को उस हिसाब से बैलेंस करके उनको रिएक्ट करते हैं. Does that make you very slow in your reactions because you're spending a lot of time analyzing, figuring out? Is that process very different? Because again, I'm comparing it to people who are working in a corporate life, and there,
Yes.
you know, everything is on an instant, और जल्दी जल्दी आपको करना है, आपको प्रोसेस करने का तक समय नहीं मिलता बड़ी बारी, बिकॉज और एक आपके लर्निंग है जो 10 साल की आपके में 13 इयर्स आपने लर्निंग करी थी, उसके हिसाब से आप सेम वे में हर बारी रिएक्ट करते हैं. So is this now becoming a slower process where you take it in, you assimilate, process it, and then you react?
No, because my process of assimilation is not at the time that I'm sitting with somebody and getting triggered. That process of understanding and assimilation is a separate process, which you have to do in your own personal time. And also sometimes it's not easy to do it on your own. Maybe a book like this book can help you. Maybe a coach or a therapist can help you. And in those sessions are those sessions which open your mind. Ek light bulb aa jata hai suddenly. Oh, I didn't realize that this is what I'm thinking is actually about me, you know. So that light bulb moment will not happen in the middle of a trigger. Sometimes yes, but rarely so. So that process of understanding evolution has to happen on your own time, on your own personal growth time. चाहे वो आप जब meditate करते हैं, चाहे book पढ़ते हैं, चाहे gratitude journal में जब लिखते हैं, चाहे whatever the processes that you follow, उस समय होता है. And then these are your times when you test out your learnings. And this is your experiment. Life is end of the day a big growth school. We have come here to test out, can we truly live with unconditional love and compassion? End of the day. That is the true test for us. So these moments in the corporate world, these moments when you're sitting across somebody and getting triggered are your tests. But the exam में ना student test देने जाता है, लेकिन वो जो learning का class होता है वो separate होता है. So that you have to do first on your own time and then use these opportunities to test yourself.
पूजा, आपने अभी काफी सारी चीजें बोली हैं, and I'm guessing certain parts of it will probably have answered this question. But अगर मैं आपको holistically बोलूं, spiritualism as a word हम लोग आजकल बहुत सुन रहे हैं. But exactly होता क्या है, and is it subjective? आपके लिए कुछ और हो सकता है, मेरे लिए कुछ और हो सकता है, or is there a certain definition that is common, and then people will use it to adapt in their lives?
So I think that there is a very basic core concept which is common, which is each and every one of us, we are pure, peaceful, and positive souls at our core. And through this journey of life, through conditioning, cultural conditioning, family conditioning, societal conditioning, layers of ego get added onto us and we become a certain person and personality. But that is not the truth of who we are. Being spiritual, the common lesson on every spiritual path, whether you follow Buddhism, whether you follow Osho, whether you follow Vipassana, whether you do anything, whether you follow Vedantic techniques, anything that you follow, the common theme in all of that is we are all pure souls and we come from purity, we go back to purity. So a lot of what we spend in our lifetime doing is learning things. But the minute you get on a spiritual path, a lot of your time is spent unlearning those things. जो आपने सीखा है, उसको भुलाना आसान नहीं होता है. वो कंडीशनिंग, वो पैटर्न्स जो आपने घर में देख देख के बड़े हुए हो, स्पेशली पहले 10-15 साल में, वो आप स्पंज की तरह अब्सॉर्ब कर लेते हो अपने पेरेंट्स से. उस चीज को भी अनलर्न कर पाना, अपनी आप का एक अस्तित्व बनाने के लिए, वो एक प्रोसेस होता है which you have to go through, which is very hard to do, which unless you're doing it very consciously, you're going to operate out of automatic triggers, which you were talking about earlier. So spirituality to me is a very basic concept of going back to the core of who we are. and breaking our ego at every single moment of our life. Every minute you overcome your ego and choose peace, happiness, and love, you are moving towards spirituality. And I think that's common across all spiritual paths.
So according to you, अगर हम spiritualism के 3 या 4 important tenets बताएं that cover it, what would they be?
I would, it's so hard. I think some of the things that I said, one, that we are, I'd say, all, very basic, pure, peaceful souls at our core. I think B, our purpose in life is to spread unconditional love and compassion to everyone around us, even if they have harmed us. This is the hard part. 3, to forgive people and pray for their happiness, even the ones who stand against us, is important, especially for people who stand against us is important, and that is very hard to do. मैं उसके लिए क्यों करूं, उसने मेरे साथ ये किया, this person is nice to me, I'm nice to them. That is easy to do. Spirituality requires you that this person has harmed me, of course not at the cost of your self-respect, but let's say somebody's opinion doesn't match with yours, आप immediately खिंच जाते हैं, but your job is in that moment to say उसके संस्कार मेरे संस्कार से अलग है, and I should accept. Which brings me to the next tenet, which is acceptance. To accept yourself for who you are and to accept everyone for who they are, to love yourself for who you are, that's self-love, and hence then love others for who they are. Until you don't love and accept yourself unconditionally, आप किसी और को unconditionally love or accept कर ही नहीं सकते. Your relationship with others is always a reflection of your relationship with yourself. So number 1, have a strong relationship with yourself first. And I'll say the most important and the last one is get your self-worth only from yourself. अगर आप हमेशा validation, love, approval के लिए अपने माँ बाप, भाई बहन, husband, wife, boss, colleagues, friends, neighbors के पास ढूंढते रहेंगे, then you are going to remain a beggar for your whole life. आप पूरी जिंदगी उनके validation, love की भीख मांगते हुए निकल जाएंगे. आपका काम ये नहीं है for them to like you. In this life, your purpose in life is to like yourself, to respect yourself, to honor yourself, to validate yourself, and to get your self-worth only from myself. नौकरी रहे ना रहे, your self-worth should not dip. Social media पे followers रहे ना रहे, your self-worth should not dip. Friends से बात हो ना हो, your self-worth should not dip. आपके खुद के family आपको accept करे ना करे, your self-worth should not dip. जब आप अपने आप को लव और रिस्पेक्ट करेंगे, ऑटोमेटिकली दुनिया भी करेगी. बट डोंट डू इट क्योंकि दुनिया करेगी. डू इट बिकॉज यू ट्रूली हैव टू लर्न टू ऑनर योरसेल्फ बिफोर यू ऑनर एनीबॉडी एल्स.
आजकल की जिंदगी में ये ईगो, पर्सनालिटीज एंड कम्पिटिटिवनेस, 3 बहुत ज्यादा, अगर हम स्पेशली अर्बन सिटीज में देखें और डेवलप्ड जगहों पे देखें, तो ये 3 बहुत बड़े ड्राइविंग फोर्सेस हैं कॉर्पोरेट वर्ल्ड में, मेन स्ट्रीम में रहने के लिए. इसको कैसे स्पिरिचुअलिज्म से डिमिनिश करके एक्सेप्ट करें? In a way, I don't know, I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm sure that they do make businesses run. I'm sure they make people function. Personalities driven politicians exist. But how they become larger than life, ego becomes larger than life, and competitiveness seems to be एकदम सबसे ऊपर कि भाई उसका मेरे से ज्यादा कैसे, मैं ऐसे कैसे. So ये सब चीजें कैसे कनेक्ट होती हैं, and how do you help spiritualism to diminish this?
You know, I always say, एक तो सोशल मीडिया के कारण कंपैरिजन और कंपेटिटिवनेस बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ गई है. द मिनट यू सी इसके पास इतने फ्रेंड्स है, इसकी सोशल लाइफ इतनी अच्छी है, इसके पास ये है, मेरे पास नहीं है, दैट कंपैरिजन पुट्स यू इनटू लो वाइब्रेशन थॉट्स. आई थिंक इफ यू नीड टू बी, competitiveness in itself बुरी बात नहीं है, because competitiveness can help you grow. But number 1, be competitive with yourself first. If you can be a better version of yourself than you were yesterday, then that's competitiveness. I'm competing with my own self. कल मैंने 5 मिस्टेक्स की, आज मैं सिर्फ 4 करूंगी, कल 3 करूंगी, कल 2 करूंगी, हो सकता है परसों फिर 5 करूं, लेकिन फिर I'll get back on the path and say आज फिर मैं कम गलतियां करूंगी and I'll be a nicer person. I think why don't we all learn to become competitive with ourselves? एक वो है. Second thing with spirituality is I don't know क्यों लोग सिर्फ जब ओल्ड हो जाते हैं बियॉन्ड अ सर्टेन एज पॉइंट या हेल्थ इश्यू आती है या मरने लगते हैं तभी स्पिरिचुअलिटी के बारे में सोचने लगते हैं. सो व्हाट इज द एडवाइस समबडी हु इज डाइंग विल गिव यू? नन ऑफ दिस मैटर्स. None of this matters. None of your ego, your trips, what you did, none of that matters. What matters is how you made people feel. What matters is the amount of love, the amount of compassion, the amount of positivity, and amount of happiness you gave to yourself. You know, I'm digressing slightly, but being happy yourself, even if आप अपने आप को खुश रख सको ना, यही आप forget कि आप दूसरों को खुश करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, दूसरों का ख्याल रख रहे हो. अपने आप का ख्याल रख पाना, पॉजिटिव रहना, कंप्लेन नहीं करना, ब्लेम नहीं करना, वाइन नहीं करना is a huge achievement, and you get 10 on 10 points just for that. Because when you are happy, you can make everybody around you happy because that positivity spreads. But when you're complaining, whining, negative, then you're adding negativity to this planet. So breaking our ego down is a day-to-day job till the day you die. ये बिकॉज आप सोचते हो अब मैं इवॉल्व हो गई, अब मैं लेसन लर्न कर ली, ये बातें तो कितनी बार सुनी है, ये सब तो हमें पता है. हो सकता है पूजा जो बोल रही है कितनी बार सुना है, कितनी कॉमन बातें हैं, लेकिन उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना और उसको जीना एंड टू लिव बाय इट डे टू डे, hour by hour, how many of you do it? How many of us do it? How many times I only slip back, right? So I slip back myself so many times. So I have to read my book every 3 or 4 days because I sometimes need that positivity myself. So I think spirituality plays a very key role in how you view your ego. Ego to a certain point is healthy, then it's not. How you view competitiveness is healthy to a point, then it's not. And if you can maintain that healthy boundary, then you can welcome some of these things in your life.
Okay, I'm going to just take a few comments that are coming on Facebook. I'll just quickly read them out one after the other. Nishant is enjoying the discussion thoroughly, so he says great, and he's a top fan, so I had to do a special mention for him. Arun Kumar saying love the book, and then there is a query that is asking, is there something called a burnout? I'm guessing this is related to your experience also of your corporate working, which prompted you to write the book. So would you like to answer that?
Yes, burnouts are very real. So लोग physical burnout को समझते हैं, but ये नहीं समझते हैं कि physical burnout is a manifestation of actually your mental, emotional and spiritual burnout. It's when you burn out from the inside, तब बाहर जाके physically you break down at one level or another. So breakdowns and burnouts are extremely real. And look at this year 2020 has been, burnouts are more real this year than any other year. So just like a pimple on your face begins to come out when the underneath the skin has begun to go bad, and then finally it manifests as a pimple on your face or an acne on your face. But that is just a manifestation. What is happening underneath the skin is way more important to heal so that the pimple doesn't keep coming back. In the same way, for burnout to not happen, it is very important कि आप day to day वो breaks, वो self healing time, every morning to do a meditation should be a part of every person's life. Today I know 8 or 9 or 10-year-olds who do it. To every day, if you're working intensely for an hour, take 5 or 10 minutes to take a break, take a health walk, look outside, look around, come back then to your laptop. Only you can build in breaks in your daily routine. Only you can bring in mindfulness in your daily routine. And only you can say, I'm going to wake up half an hour early every day because I want to pray or I want to meditate. I want to pray to consciousness. I want to, align with my higher self so that the burnout का वो मौका ही नहीं आए. Burnout आ गया यानी बहुत देर हो गई. आपने अपने आप को mentally, physically, emotionally बहुत साल abuse किया है for finally the burnout to happen. It should never reach that stage. We should not allow. And I burnt myself out twice in my life. So with the corporate world, and then I built a wellness company, and I also burnt myself out with a wellness startup, which was strange because
very ironical.
Ironical. So we forget our own lessons. I forget my own lessons. I'm a public
इतने
speaker.
इन्वॉल्व हो जाते हो वो चीज में कि उस टाइम पे आपको याद नहीं रहता है.
I was very passionate about this platform, Begin to Heal. And for 4 years, I was giving talks in New York on panels, podcasts, radios, telling people to maintain work-life balance. But I had no work-life balance of my own. So I know this is easy to preach, but being mindful or taking that step back and reclaiming your own personal time from your own day is from your own family, from your own day, from your own boss is very important.
पूजा, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले आपने बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग बात करी कि मोस्टली स्पिरिचुअलिज्म के बारे में लोग ओल्ड एज में जाके बात करते हैं, जब खत्म हो गया करियर, यू नो, एंड दे आर लाइक इन द लास्ट स्टेजेस ऑफ लाइफ एटसेट्रा. In your view, after having experienced it at a youngish age, would you think that because it should become a way of life, हमें बचपन से ही बच्चों को ये सिखाना चाहिए? और क्या मतलब, I don't know, curriculum में होना चाहिए, या does it come from family, the way they operate? How do you see this happening?
You know, one or the other ways, I think it's absolutely essential that this should be inculcated into either the curriculum, whether the curriculum is officially in a school or whether the curriculum is at home. Now, school mein spirituality la pana mushkil isliye hai, especially in a country which is so religious like India, where people come from a variety of religious backgrounds and religious beliefs, that the parents may stand up against it. But if spirituality is taught as a very basic concept of good principles of life, बिना उसको spirituality का नाम दिए हुए, just call it, you know, a lesson of humanity, then parents might find it more accepting. And to teach lessons of humanity right from the age of, you know, I'd say 8 onwards, 7 or 8 onwards to a child, I think can have a huge impact in generations going forward. You know, so that you know, so that there's less drama, less conflict, less stress, less anxiety, less pressure on people, you know, on these kids and future generations. I think I didn't think of this until you just said it, but I think it's a fantastic idea.
ऑल्सो पूजा, ये आपने अपने बुक में काफी सारी चीजें लिखी हैं. मैं किताब मैंने पढ़ी नहीं है, लेकिन डिस्कशंस आपके जो मैंने सुने हैं उनमें बुक के अंदर खुद के साथ अंदर जो फियर्स हैं, खुद के साथ कॉन्स्टेंटली हम लोग लड़ते रहते हैं. एंड वी नो, कहीं ना कहीं हम सबको पता है कि हमको ये नेगेटिव थॉट्स और ये सब कुछ निकाल देना चाहिए. तो इसको डील करने के लिए क्या tools hone chahiye? One is of course to start practicing all this spiritual way of life, understanding yourself. But if for somebody who at this point may not have access to it, but we would like, even if we can, like we constantly keep saying, agar hum do logon ko madad kar paye through our discussions etc., for us that's a big deal. So are there any tools that you can think of, and maybe you could read out something from the book that will help people you know, start this journey at least towards the progress that we are trying to tell them to go?
So sorry, so you'd like me to read out something from the book?
Sure. And if there are any tools that you can think of, the people, if they're listening to this discussion, whoever's listening to this, can just say कि अच्छा, मैं ये 2 छोटी चीजें करना शुरू कर देता हूँ, उसमें देखता हूँ मुझे कितना फर्क पड़ता है, and if that makes a difference in their life, then go ahead for that journey.
Yeah, so I would say I'm a huge believer in meditation and everyday meditation. Huge believer in a gratitude journal, which for people who are just always, you know, a lot of people just say meditation I know is helpful क्योंकि इतना सुना है तो must be, लेकिन it's not for me, मेरे से नहीं होता है. You know, the self-defeating thought जो है उसको आप kill करिए, remove it, because you are in your own way. If you believe you can't meditate, the only person in your way is you. There is always some style of meditation that you can do. I think that's the first and the most important thing. And I think secondly is to write in your gratitude journal every single night. अगर आप सोने के पहले 10 points लिख सकते हैं, I am grateful today for amazing food in my house. I'm grateful today for my father's support. I'm grateful today because my husband sent me a nice note. I'm grateful today even just to be alive and to not get COVID, let's say. Write 10 points every single day, and that changes your frame of mind completely. And I would say 3 things, which is more at a practical level. Stop bombarding yourself with news and social media. Either social media leads mainly to comparison or to feelings of neglect. predominantly more than connection. उसने मेरा like नहीं किया, उसने उसका like किया, you know, उसके पास ये है, मेरे ऐसा नहीं है. So I think social media net has a more negative effect on you than a positive effect. So reduce your consumption of it. News. When is the last time you switched on news and it was amazing, happy, positive news about the world? When is the last time that happened? So reduce कंट्रोल. जो आपके लाइफ में जो कंट्रोलेबल्स हैं उसको कंट्रोल करिए. जो आउट आपके कंट्रोल में नहीं है, reduce your consumption of it. It doesn't lead to anything. And you know, I will teach you guys a very quick technique called EFT, which is emotional freedom tapping. There are definite points in our body. When you tap on these points, these are the exact points. Point 1, this is 2.
तो ये मुट्ठी बंद करके आप यहाँ पे साइड पे
on the side पे.
हाँ.
Emotional freedom technique is the most popular healing technique in the world. इसमें आप self heal कर सकते हैं, आप EFT के videos भी कर सकते हैं. And tap.
तो इसको कितने बारी टैप करना पड़ता है पूजा?
दो 3-4 बार ऐसे किया टैप. Okay. I'll just show it to you. First, I'll show you the points and I'll tell you what to say when you tap.
Sure,
and
sure.
then you tap, you kind of tap this. Then you tap here. You tap underneath the eye. You tap underneath the chin. You tap. This is where your adrenal gland. You tap here next to the collarbone. You tap under the arms. And then you tap on your head. Now, these are the points you go back in a circular motion, the exact same circular motion. Now, wow. You can say, I feel stress and anxiety because I work too much. I feel stress and anxiety because I have financial issues. I feel stress and anxiety because I feel lonely in life. I feel stress. I feel depressed because I feel I'm not understood by others. I feel rejected by others and it makes me very sad. The minute you say what's hurting you, what you're keeping, first 5 or 6 points आपके जो conscious minds में वो निकलते जाएंगे. But as you keep doing these points, things will start coming out of you which even you don't realize is how you feel.
Very interesting.
From your subconscious mind, and you'll begin to release them. So first finish saying all the negative points, then start saying all the positive points. I still love myself. I still forgive this person. I know I'm a good person. I can be happy no matter what. You know, life always works out for me. First finish removing the negativity, then fill it with positivity. Look up EFT tapping, and if you forget these points, and you can find these points anywhere on an EFT video, it's the best self-healing tool in the world.
Excellent. Excellent. So basically, it's like a form of, I don't know if I loosely say, some cleansing way.
It is a cleansing. These are acupressure meridian points, actually. It's a form of acupressure, but also used spiritually. And by the way, this is used by therapists in the world. Clinical psychologists globally have conferences, EFT conferences, where thousands of therapists come to learn this technique. And in a session with a patient, it's just that they will say the sentences for them. Because sometimes a person doesn't know, main bolu kya. I'm feeling sad, but being able to form in a sentence.
That's right.
Start with being very simple, very honest and simple with yourself. If you can't form complex segments. But that's why you have EFT practitioners and therapists who follow EFT. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, just EFT. Coaches, people take certifications and become an EFT coach because it's so effective. Even your blocks of abundance, financial blocks, poverty consciousness, victim consciousness, hai main bechari, all of that can be removed with EFT tapping. It's very powerful, and you can do it on your own. So there are EFT audios on YouTube you can find for free to help yourself.
Thank you so much. I hope that हमारे जो सारे listeners हैं, इससे definitely ये तो बहुत ही easy, practical, and like you said, over time a very powerful tool. तो ये क्या दिन में 2 बार करना पड़ता है पूजा, or you do it once a day and it's enough?
Oh, once a day is also enough. Even once a day, if you do it, many people may not even get to that. So no point asking them to do it 5 times a day. Do it once a day. Start with that.
Once a day.
Once you realize the impact it's having on you, you will automatically want to do more of it on your own. But once a day is pretty good if you do it, but do it for like 10 minutes at least, so that it has the effect it's supposed to have on you.
Very nice. So पूजा, आप थोड़ा सा अपने किताब से हमें प्लीज पढ़ के अपने फेवरेट पार्ट्स थोड़े.
Okay, I was not prepared.
Do you have one favorite part, or you think there are many parts in the book that are effective?
You know, there are many, but I will read one part which I think might help a lot of people. and I normally like to read this part. Can you hear me clearly? Yeah.
Yes.
So
Go ahead.
this is a part I like to always read because I think it's so precious. It's called Transcending Expectations and Disappointment, because disappointment is something that's common to, I think, 100% of the people in the world. We're all disappointed in each other. So this is a part that says, when we have expectations, we create a script of what a perfect life, a perfect relationship, a perfect friend should look like in our minds. Unknowingly, we assign dream roles to the people in our life to play that part, to respond to us in a certain way, to look a certain way, to do certain things, and to not do certain things. Cultural or societal conditioning leads us to form these thoughts to fit everybody in a dream role, in that perfect role. And by doing this, we set everyone up for failure and we set ourselves up for disappointment. When people don't behave the way we want them to, we get hurt, angry, or upset. And then we hold on to these thoughts about how everyone else around us should behave. And the stronger you hold on to these thoughts, the more difficult and rigid you become. Who built the story, the script of how your partner, your sister, your family, your friends, your coworkers should behave? You built the script so that you can fill some void inside you, so that they can fill your expectations, so that you can stop feeling poorly about yourself. You keep fighting for specialness, love, and attention, which are all ego driven desires. No amount of love and approval from someone else will change the way you feel about yourself. You hold on to these thoughts about how everyone else should behave, and the stronger you hold them, the more rigid you're going to be. Who would you be without this conditioning, without this story of how others are supposed to behave? Just pure love.
How beautiful. So disappointment भी अगर हम बात करें तो बहुत ही बड़ी बड़ी negative emotion of sorts which sets you on a path that pushes you back a couple of steps from every time that you're trying to move forward.
Yes, that's true. But what we don't realize about disappointment are two or three things. Number one, we have learned disappointment as a way of being sometimes by our conditioning around us too. If you've seen people around you get disappointed with others very often, then you pick on that trait and then you start becoming disappointed in everyone else around you. Number two, and this is a very deep spiritual thought and not many people will grasp it, but I want to say this, is we are carrying disappointment lifetime after lifetime across many lifetimes inside our souls. It's called existential disappointment. The disappointment is because nothing outside of you can fulfill you. It's only your connection with your higher self, with source, with consciousness, that can give you true fulfillment. We seek happiness in small things outside of us, which are temporary things. And end of the day, all of those things are going to be taken away from you. Everything. Death, they say death is a stripping away of everything that is not you. And then you're left with just you, just your pure soul. So I'm just saying that we are carrying disappointment lifetime after lifetime inside us because we are not connecting with ourselves. We're not connecting with consciousness. And there is an existential disappointment which we project onto our relationships. And number three, we attract people and situations in our life so that they disappoint us. And we don't realize that we are actually creating a situation in which we know we are going to get disappointed. You attract people into your life with your vibe, your subconscious thoughts, your energy, and you attract a situation into your life. And then you get disappointed with others, but truly you're the one who attracted that situation into your own life. So you can't really blame that other person. You chose a partner who will disappoint you. You chose to work in a company where your colleagues will disappoint you. You chose in a lot of ways where you are and with who you are and which situation you are. You created it. You're a co-creator in this universe. You're not a helpless victim. You're not a victim of your situation, circumstances. You're a creator of it. So taking accountability and responsibility and realizing I brought disappointment into my own life is very important.
पूजा, शुरू में आपने कहा था कि स्पिरिचुअलिज्म एक स्टेप नहीं है, इट्स एन ऑनगोइंग प्रोसेस और कोई ओवरनाइट नहीं सीख लेता. इसी कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर मैं पूछूं, लाइफ ही एक जर्नी है जो चलती रहती है, प्रोग्रेस करती रहती है. आपके हिसाब से, टेकिंग इनटू अकाउंट फ्रॉम द स्पिरिचुअल एंगल, स्टैग्नेशन का क्या डेफिनेशन है और इज इट गुड?
Stagnation, is it good? I think that's a no, because if you're looking to stay in your comfort zone, and replay the same scene. If your last 5 years of your life look like your next 5 years, then how is that interesting? Then why, then you're existing and not living and not growing. So I'm all about evolving every month, every week, every moment. So stagnation for me in the spiritual context means staying stuck in a pattern of behavior where you keep responding to life and situations in the same way, and then the same reactions keep coming at you. So you keep attracting that same situation. आपकी लाइफ में आप बार बार वही सिचुएशन, वही चीज अट्रैक्ट करते रहेंगे, चाहे हर महीने, चाहे हर साल, चाहे 2-3 साल कुछ ऐसा नहीं हुआ, फिर 2-3 साल बाद फिर शुरू होने लगा. Staying stuck in your pattern to me is stagnation. And learning, real growth happens when you get fed up of your own tantrums, when you get fed up of your own self, and when you want to evolve, and you don't want to stay stuck in a loop of life. लेकिन जब तक आप वो सिचुएशन का लेसन नहीं लर्न करेंगे, वो सिचुएशन आपके लाइफ में बार बार आती ही रहेगी. तो आप अपना लेसन लर्न करिए, आप अपना रिस्पॉन्स मैकेनिज्म चेंज करिए, आप अपनी थिंकिंग, अपना वैल्यू सिस्टम चेंज करेंगे, एंड दैट्स व्हाट दिस बुक काइंड ऑफ हेल्प्स यू टू डू. Then the situation around you and the people around you will start responding differently to you, and you will no longer be stuck in a position, or you will no longer stagnate.
Pooja, एक last but not the least question, because you've also been through it yourself. आपने क्या ये क्रैक कर पाया है कि a lot of us start looking at life very differently, and spiritualism का महत्व हमें ये जैसे मिडिल एज टाइप टिपिकली हम बोलते हैं, उसमें ही क्यों ज्यादा जाना जाता है? उसके पहले बहुत इजीली क्यों लोगों को नहीं समझ आती है ये बात?
I think in our younger years, I think also when you're young, you have come out of your family conditioning and school conditioning and the friends at school and the teachers at school. You are looking to other people to tell you, who am I? What should I be about? What is right? What is wrong? How should I be?
Validation जो आप कह रहे थे.
Sorry?
Validation जो आप कह रहे थे थोड़ी देर पहले.
Validation भी नहीं, but you're looking to your teachers, and your teachers are at school and your teachers are at home. And you are learning by observing. And because you have not become your own teacher just yet. आपके life में इतने experiences ही नहीं हुए. I'm talking about before the age of 20. So by that time, you are learning things from everybody else and your environment around you and people around you. So you're just absorbing at that time. In your 20s, you're playing out everything you absorbed in your first 20 years. In your 30s, you're beginning to realize what I was playing out, which I picked up in my childhood in the first 20 years, what I played out through my 20s, and sometimes you keep playing it out even until your mid 30s or late 30s, is not working for me. Some of these things are working, but sometimes they're not working. And then something happens to a lot of people at that age of 40, I'd say. 40 and 60 are two big turning points, because at 40, you stop caring about wanting to please others, live for others. You stop wanting to have 100 friends. You want to start doing things that make you happy. And you begin to realize, I should be the center of my universe and not other people around me. At least for a lot of people, that begins to happen. And that's when you start questioning a lot of your conditioning. And then at 60, you've realized you've lived a big portion of your life and a small portion of your life is left. And so how do you want to live the rest of your life? It's as if suddenly a lot of people start fearing death or start thinking about their next life and want to set their karmic footprint correct before they enter their next life. And they think that now if I turn spiritual or religious, then my next life will be a good life, because I have learned that Bhagwan ko please rakho. They haven't really understood spirituality at their core. But there's a new trend, Rishali, that is the millennials are a very, very, very spiritual batch. In the United States, everybody who was under 35, between, even 18 to 35, I'd say as young as 18, they're a very conscientious generation. They're a very entitled generation, but they're conscientious, mindful. They're all about save the planet, save the environment, meditation and yoga helps. a lot of my clientele for Begin to Heal who were booking sessions were millennials. So I feel now in a lot of ways there's some universal shift happening, that spirituality is now coming down to a younger generation faster than it did, let's say with the previous generations.
Very nice. Pooja, I mean, you have so much nice, so much spiritual wordage to share, and I think हमारे लिए जो 45 minutes है वो भी कम पड़ेंगे अगर हमने और 2 घंटे भी बातें करी तो भी लोगों को अगर हम थोड़ा बहुत सिखा पा रहे थे तो काफी चीज है. लेकिन thank you so much. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you for the tools that you shared. I think for me that was like the winner moment, because somebody who is not right now, and I admittedly don't follow spiritualism yet, for me, even to begin, just those 2-3 things that you mentioned is going to be a part of my journey now. So thank you so much for sharing that with us, and all the very best to you and to our viewers and who are listening. Please go out and look at Pooja's book. It's is it available on Amazon?
It's on Amazon,
it's available on
Kindle, Flipkart, and Apple Books. Yes, Amazon par to hai hi hai.
So great. So if anybody wants to start the journey, please take a look at her book. And thanks once again. It was a great pleasure connecting with you today.
Thank you. You as well. Thank you for this opportunity. Okay.